Welcome to just a short little segment because we care about you. A short segment of Solutionary TV presents Ascension Series with Dr. Tatiana and Jenessee Roy. We're both here with you tonight, and we are wanting to bring our presence and bring our devotion to you and to this Ascension movement and all the disclosure that it entails, to a discussion tonight that's just really Jenessee and I letting you know what is about to come. Jenessee, there's some big things going on right now and some big travel that you and I have been planning. Why don't you tell our listening audience what they have to look forward to for Monday's upcoming show?
Mhm. So Dr. Irvin and I are going to be in Mount Shasta, leaving for this weekend's From Venus with Love event. And we are so excited to tape live for you there. And on Monday, bring you some very pertinent, deeply connected ascension content that we're both receiving and getting at the foot of Shasta. So we are just thrilled and excited to be able to not only have the experience and download that information, but also bring it to you.
Yes, and it's a culmination of a lot of amazing speakers that have already been featured guests on Solutionary TV. So, for those of you that have been following us for the last several months, we are going to have Dr. Scott Werner. Obviously, Dr. Raymond Keller, who has just recently joined us, Jenessee Roy, who's going to be a speaker. We also had Shari Lynn and Rob Potter. And I'm thinking of, I missed it. Oh, yes, Frank Chili. Frank Chili. Oh, what a soft, sweet soul he is, and such a powerful conviction around his understanding about our multidimensionality and what is in store for humanity. So we are going to be mixing and mingling and sharing some of the most recent intel that's been coming in. We're going to be excited to be embracing what's happening cosmically. Let's pay attention to the fact that July 27th is a big deal. And if you don't know what that means, go Google it. Go out there and YouTube it, and you'll see all of the other brilliant media platforms that are bringing this kind of information together so that they can well round what we're offering here. We're doing our best to bring you very much a grassroots concept of who we are as humanity, where is our inherent birthright and trajectory in this earth sphere and in this 3D address and at this pivotal time in human history. But even more importantly, not to say that that is less important, it is just the macrocosm of the microcosm. We're here to help show you who you are and what you are capable of. We are not special. We are not in any way in an exclusive group. We have just been maybe a little bit further down the road, and it's the same road that you're on. Maybe we studied a little bit more. Maybe we've practiced in certain disciplines that you're now learning. But we are all here for you and supportive of your practice. So, Jenessee, do you want to touch a little bit on what you're going to be speaking on, sharing a little bit more than what you did in our recent show that has been broadcast, about what you're going to be helping our audience to better encompass and embody in their day-to-day life, enjoying this 3D experience?
Yes. So let's try and break this down. So the grand finale of the event in Shasta, the content that I want to bring forward is explaining what how individuals currently, humans, are holding timelines, consciousness, and we keep hearing, Dr. Irvin, have you heard that the masters are going to be coming back? That the masters are here on Earth.
Yes, of course.
So the masters are here, and they are, what's the word you would use for this? I have held different soul aspects of different masters in my human body because of the refiner's fire, is that what we were calling it?
Sure.
Process that I had gone through to basically detach, and I'm going to use detach carefully here, to harmonize my physical, emotional, mental body so that I could be a clear channel to hold these cosmic master archetypes. And to me, what a cosmic master archetype is the quote unquote ascended masters that everybody keeps claiming are going to be coming back and incarnating on Earth. And so what I would tell people right now is, if you're watching Ascension series and you follow it very clearly, you most likely have been holding these timelines and not even knowing that you've been holding these timelines. When you move into meditative space and it's Melchizedek that's coming through, no doubt in my mind, you have been holding a soul aspect or a timeline, a component that directly cord connects to Melchizedek. And so the information that I'm going to be speaking to at Shasta is going to be helping people to see very clearly how this baby steps into their reality, and through signs and synchronicities and meditative practices, who we are engaging with, and those quote unquote masters that come to us through us, they have to be in resonance to the frequency that we're holding. And so who you are connecting to is basically who you are holding space for. To how do we even say this? Is there a word for what I'm describing? I call it birthing. We're basically birthing the next version.
Oh, beautiful. Use it.
Of this. Is there a term for this? Because we know I don't study any of this, so I tend to use very mainstream terminology or my own terminology when I try and explain things. And so
it sounds like embodying and transcending to me, but birthing sounds spectacular. I mean, I think it will resonate with our listeners.
So because I know what a walk-in is, and a slip soul. Are you familiar with both those terms, and do you have different definitions for those terms?
Walk-in, I think that most of our viewers, our listeners, would be familiar, but if you just want to give them a little bit of a bridge context, that would be great.
Yes. So walk-in, and people, like anything here on Earth, we can put negative spins or positive spins to any of these words that we're using to describe things. So a walk-in can be when we are in alignment on our path, that we actually, okay, so there's multiple. I'm talking slip soul and walk-in here. So let me go walk-in first. Walk-in can be when somebody has let's just go major trauma, a car crash, and this person's soul leaves their body, and and they have that flatline moment, and the soul actually leaves the body, is given a choice. Do you want to come back to your body? And if you do, here's what that Akashic timeline is going to look like. And the soul can either at that point choose to go back into the body and continue on knowing what that timeline is going to continue to look like, or that soul can leave the body. So at that point, sometimes if the soul chooses not to finish its timeline here on Earth and chooses to leave the body, another soul, and we can call this a walk-in, that is completely aligned to the human path that car crash victim had, can walk in to that body and take on all of the experiences that body is going to have, and basically start at not have to be a baby through the incarnational cycle. Is that how you understand walking?
Yes.
Okay. Slip soul, kind of same in a sense, but slip souls can come into our body. We can have multiple souls. Of course, it has to be in resonance. There has to be work that's in alignment that's needing to be done. And so we can actually, our soul, because again, we're multidimensional and there's no such thing as time, space, linear time, except for here on Earth. And so a slip soul, basically what happens is a an iteration of our soul, or one that is in complete alignment with what we're producing, that has unfinished business, but that also aligns to what our human contract looks like, could come in for a week, a month, a year, 5 years, and perform basically right next to, in alignment with our soul, and then they leave, and then we continue on. So are we in balance and harmony there?
Yes. So you're telling our viewers that you're going to be touching on this concept and the importance of it and why it's allowed and how it serves us at the conference. Yes?
Yeah, so that is baby steps to what I'm going to try and, so that's all human. So where I want to take it is cosmic, because what we are all hearing in ascension consciousness and this ascension movement is that, there's going to be a point in time when we ascend and it's going to look a certain way, and people are waiting for this to happen. And we're told that the ascended masters are going to come back, and there's going to be heaven on earth, and however this story's been told to you or unfolded for you. Basically what I understand to be truth, and this is truth through my own experiences, is that the ascended masters are back, and they are basically collectively working through a vast majority of enlightened beings here on Earth. And I'd say anybody that's watching this show is an enlightened being. And so how you are being triggered and worked with this co-creating potential that we all have here on the Earth plane, it can be it can be in the smallest of synchronicities, that you're being triggered and seeing how you are basically working and birthing timelines from these ascended masters, or these cosmic master archetypes that we label as the Jesus energy, the Kuan Yin energy, the Melchizedek, all of these Buddha, all of these masters that that people are waiting for to come back. You might not even know that you're already co-creating with a let's just use slip soul because we just explained it, but with a slip soul of one of these ascended masters that is working with you, to you, through you, to co-create the next dimensional reality for all of humanity to step onto. And to me,
Wow.
this is humanity. This is what we're doing.
So it's a Mac Daddy concept, and you're going to break it down and show how its moving parts are applicable and functional. And I think we're going to have a lot of people in the audience taking notes because it sounds so involved, but it's really exciting work, Jenessee. I'm thrilled that you're doing it. The idea of multidimensionality and multiple timelines and parallel universes, and within that, multiverses of parallel universes, can be such an expansive place that literally we experience mind pop. Brain starts to hurt, or we can't even think past how far we've envisioned it, and we find ourselves kind of shut down for a second going, wow, that was bigger than I can take it. But when we can put some context around it, the way that you're doing it, it has a tendency to find some room and some support and some cushion around it, so that it doesn't seem so far-fetched. That if we came from the infinite, which was everything, and we spiraled down into a fractalized address through all of the genealogy that ultimately was mom, all the genealogy that was ultimately dad, and embodied in this one little physiological address. If we could descend to that level, why should it be so difficult to understand that along that descension, there were aspects of ourselves that we forgot about? We didn't lose, we just forgot about them. We didn't have a direct witness of them anymore. We allowed a veil of forgetfulness. That's part of what 3D is. It was how dense can you get and still hold divinity in density. And that's what we're all living right now. So beautiful and exciting that you're kind of bringing our viewers and of course the audience members at the conference back to a place of just travel with me, spiral with me upward, and remember how many ways with which you can reclaim, reintroduce, and re-embody your multidimensionality and realize you're sharing company with some pretty cool souls, ascended masters, perhaps, slip souls, members of your soul family. And on that note, Jenessee, I'm going to just have a vulnerable moment with our viewers. Having always been one that had prophetic dreams and recognized at a young age that when they would repeat, they were trying to create an indelible impression in me, a deep, deep, soulful memory to investigate for myself as to why I needed to have this dream play out the way that it did with the various details. And one of those dreams that I've had since I was very, very, very young was that I was getting ready to climb into a car on a train track. And it was twilight, and I was surrounded by various family members. And it was kind of an open air train track. And the train in its tracks, as I looked up from the car that I was getting into, very anxious and very much in anticipation, I was aware that there was a big, beautiful mountain at the end of this destination. And it looked as if the track was going to take us into the mountain. And what I remember saying to everyone around me in the dream, my family, those that were close to me, I'm going back to my people in the mountain. And I knew what that mountain was. And I knew that my people, while these were my earth life friends and family members and those that are dear to me, that I had another soul family that I was very close to and had a very deep and abiding purpose with. And there was no rationale from a 3D perspective on how that could be possible or true. But I knew that my people were in the mountain, and that mountain is Mount Shasta. So for the first time ever, I am returning to my people in the mountain. And I'm not prophesying that any grand event is going to come back and I'm going to tell you anything, because this is very personal. But I will share the witness in supporting Jenessee that the complexity of our connection in the eternities, not only with iterations of ourselves, but members of our soul family, and the constant beautiful divine journeymen that are all souls having different experiences in different bodies and are playing a role in this fractalized divinity for the sake of divinity experiencing itself is nothing short of astounding. And it's a great honor, and we're all participating in it. So I'm going to get my soul fed in Shasta. Jennessee's going to get her soul fed and be feeding the masses. And we are going to look forward to coming back to you on August 30th. Live from Mount Shasta, gathering all the jewels of the conference and really embodying all of the cosmic changes that will be coming to an apex at that time. And we're so grateful that you're joining in and sharing with us. Yeah. So, Jenessee, any closing thoughts for our fabulous, our audience, our patient and ardent listeners?
Well, so I would like to just say, since we are going to be doing some live recording in Shasta, for everybody who wants to just download the Chakra Deck app. It's available for free for Apple and Android, and you will get so much amazing, up-to-date, latest what's going on. And then also our pre-show connections are there, and it's just such an easy portal. Everything we're doing, it goes right into there, and you and I manage it. So, anything, I think it asks for an email when you sign up, but that's it. It's hardly anything, and it's free, and there is just so much amazing content. And the lecture, the workshop that I'm going to be teaching, when I was being triggered with my own birthing process, and the humans that I was actually birthing my soul timelines to were showing up in my life, which we'll get into. Loaded, but we'll get into it. When I was being triggered with that, there were four very activating meditations that came through that I had to record for humans who were also going through this birthing process. And I had never heard of the reptilian spine. I'm sure you could give me a 5-hour download on this right now, but
You're talking about brain stem and the olfactory system in lower brain, correct? The old reptilian
yes,
brain? Yeah.
the reptilian brain, and so there were and a lot of advanced technology and blueprinting that came through for a lot of these kind of human body activations that we're experiencing and going through. And so you can find all of that within the app. Everything's free. Everything in the app, except for if you go to a shop link where there's our books and things for purchase. But anyways, so there's just so much content, and if you want the live, up to date, what's coming through and what we're doing, it's going to be right in there, so that you'll have access to everything. Just a really easy resource.
Wow. I'm so glad that you've helped make that available in our merging, Jenessee. It's another complete place for them to stay, tapped into what we're doing, what we're offering. I also want to encourage all of you to go and take a look at Solutionary TV. Go look at our YouTube page for Solutionary TV, and take a look at our Facebook and social media. All of these things are kind of becoming a collate for us to be able to offer additional supports, some of the pre-show information, and some additional offerings that we're going to be doing, because there will be some major retreats and learning opportunities coming up as we approach 2019. Who knows if we'll all still be here, folks, but we're going to be prepared for you nonetheless, and that is our goal. And I just want to thank Jenessee. Thank you. Remember, always, as we work together, we continue to be the solution.